Hello everybody! Hello, this is Fanny. How are you? Happy Sunday! I wanted to record a good video for you today to share my good mood. See, get some makeup even. Sitting on like 4 pillows. So it looks natural, just so I'm in the right high. I wanted to show you seashell room. Yes, I'm preparing. In the other video I posted, I'm going to post from upstairs. I'm going to redo some of my rooms in the house for the art retreats, when we're going to do the retreats here. So you will be able to stay with me. If you're from Jacksonville, you can come in the morning. If you're not from Jacksonville, you can fly and stay with me for the week. So I will have 2 or 3 rooms available. If you come by yourself, you can have your own room. If you come as a couple, if you come with children, we can arrange. But I mean, doing the retreat, the art retreat with the children is kind of it depends on you. It depends on you, they are welcome. We can find activities for them. It's just like, I know for me, painting is my bubble to disconnect. I was laughing this morning because my friend Helga and I, we were talking yesterday on the phone, and she's like, she's in a cafe, right? She leaves the kids with her husband. She's in a cafe just to have a phone call with me. And she's like, oh yeah, just go out. Like, I can't, because when you're a parent, you can't talk on the phone without being interrupted. You can't. I was on the cruise, and I was just sitting there on the deck, like doing nothing. And I was just like, there was a time I would maybe be bored or looking for things to do. But for me, having a day where I would just do nothing, that is success for me. I was like, this is so awesome. Or just going to the food court, right? We'd go and get the food, and I would get to my table with my group, and I'd be like, this is so amazing, man, I'm so excited, like, why? And they're like, why are you so excited with the food? I'm like, because I didn't have to cook it. I come here, I just get all the food, I can eat, I don't have to do dishes, I don't have to cook it, so your definition of relaxing and success really depends. And there's some moms, they're like amazing, they do their own thing, and they're over there like preparing 45 activities. Like, I know my friend Alice, when we go to the restaurant, she always has like her little backpack with all the kids' activities and stuff, so for some people it's easy. For some people, you want to come here just to disconnect with your family and focus on yourself. So I think it's better this way. But if you're a single mom and you still want to come and join for the retreat, for example, there is space, in the room with you to welcome like that. So everybody is included. So yes, there will be this room and the room upstairs, and I can even also arrange Esteban's room, so I can welcome like 3 persons on a single room, or 6 persons as shared rooms, even maybe from 6 to 8 people. So I'm excited about that. Then the team building trainings will be, like I said, explained in the other video. I'm repeating because every time I post the video, and then I have more ideas that come, I'm like, oh, I need to specify that, because it's not just painting. The team buildings, I can go to your organization, facility, office, wherever you are, and bring the painting supplies. And I'm going to make a catalog. I already wrote almost the catalog, but I need to make it nice and print. All these things takes time. And by the way, while it's still the beginning of the video, maybe you haven't zoned off yet, I need your help. I need your help. I'm a creator. I have a lot of content. See, this is clothing with my artwork. Like, I have a line of clothes as well that is still not coming out because I don't have time to make it happen, or the money to actually pay someone. I paid a friend designer, who did my logo, Brian, Pad 2 Print. You can check him out on Instagram, Pad 2 Print, to do the design and stuff. So I have lots of clothing lines, team buildings, art retreats at my house. I'm actually working on a movie right now. for the event in Egypt. You saw it, so it's gonna be 2 movies because there's so much. I was gonna put the event, the cruise, everything together, but the event itself, it's almost done. It's an hour and a half. It's awesome because I've tried to put really like everything, everybody, and concept, adding concept and art to it. It took me a long time to start, like a week to even just transfer the pictures, because I have Android and my computer is a MacBook, so I can't just, that would be too easy if I could just transfer my pictures to my computer. I had to find another computer that I could transfer my picture to that computer, and find an old hardware that I have to transfer the pictures back to my computer. But the hardware is pretty full with older stuff, so I can only do it 1 file at a time. So, you know, it can never be easy, but I'm finding solutions. So day by day, I just transferred all the pictures finally to my computer, selected the pictures. Then the program wasn't working. So I had to learn how to use the other program. I mean, it took me a week just to start, but then once I'm on it, in 2 days, it's almost done. So this is great. I'm excited about that. New concept, all the conferences from Matthias, trying to put the pictures from the foundation, some other stuff, you will see. I think it's pretty cool. And there was also what was their name? Pachaunai. That was the Peruvian group that came with Maria Pasa. Hey, Esteban.
Mommy,
Yes.
can I have some yogurt and granola?
Of course.
Yeah, make me
Yeah, go get it in the fridge.
right now.
Seriously, man. Dude, like, see? That's the thing. When you have kids, they come, he interrupts. I asked him before I started the video, do you want breakfast? Nah, of course, I start something. This is when he has to come. He messes up. See, I just received Elisabeth's book yesterday, so I want to say a few words about this as well. And so he comes here, he wants breakfast, he messes up the book, so like, another topic I want to talk about in the team buildings, but let me finish first. So make the movies. I'm gonna make another movies about the cruise after, because the cruise was also incredible. There was a lot of events, stories, prophecies that I learned and that were actually replaying in my own life, in our own, everybody's life, or oneness. When I say my life, most of the time it's a mirror of what's happening in your life or someone else at the other side of the world, and we're all connected like that. So it's a lot. I'm probably gonna make a whole, and in the between I recorded a new session for the papyrus explaining the stories and stuff. So it's a lot. I have a lot of content to create or created, print the booklet for the team buildings. So I need your help. I need your help for helping me spread the word, right? Share my post, please. Tag your friends. If you see something that's interesting to you, please tag your friends. You can use my art. Sometimes people take my art and they use it for their avatar. I have no problem with that. I appreciate though if you tag my page, so you redirect people to my page, because it brings traffic to my page and people who can be interested. I used to never talk about my oracle, because when I meet friends, I don't want them to think I have something behind my mind, that I'm interested. I want to have my relationship. I meet friends because I meet friends. So I used to never talk about my product. And, I don't want them to think, oh, she's nice because she just wants us to buy something from her. But then following the trainings from Dean Graziosi and Tony Robbins just really helped me change my mindset, and mostly experience as well. When I was in Egypt and I showed my art and my oracle to all of our group, and they were all like, oh, wow, this is so cool. And then we did the reading all together. There is a podcast if you want to listen on my YouTube channel. And now, some of the friends, they're writing to me. They're like, oh, where can I find your oracle and stuff? And I'm like, oh, see, well, I should talk about it, because people want to know. And honestly, you see, it's funny, actually, I'm wearing this dress. This is the dress from the cover of my oracle, right? It's called Indian Sunrise. Indian Sunrise, it's like the colors of the sunrise, you know, when you're on the other side of the world and you have these crazy sunrises, and it's every day is a new beginning. You can recode the stories, you can renew your mindset. Okay, the full moon is coming next week. The week before the full moon, for me, it's the toughest of the month, because our body is made of water, right? So just like the tides depend on the moon, right? They're regulated by the moon. So when the full moon rises, the water in our body rises as well, like the tides, and our emotions are in the water. Okay, the Atlantean, actually, Matthias told us, were storing the information in the water. And the books I was reading about the Incas, same, they were storing also information in the crystals, right? So there is information in the air, in the water, in the crystals. Now the books, we have books, but the books is like the transition. It's like the legacy, that it's pretty much, sometimes I want to extract things out of my head, the information, all thousands of information that comes, I want to extract it right away. So I used to write a lot, but now it's so much that I have to make videos. This is why I make so many videos. I have like 200 videos on my YouTube, because writing is not fast enough. So I record everything. So it's kind of like, okay, so I can, anyways, the emotions. Yes. So the week before the full moon, usually you're more angry, you're more trying to argue. We were just arguing yesterday for stupid things, like with my ex-husband, like, we were vegan for like 7 years, but now we're divorced. So, the things that were made sense, now it's no, milk is good for you, or from a day to another. But anyways, stupid things. But when it's like that, I know it's because it's the moon. Every time we argue, I look at the calendar, full moon is coming in a few days. I'm like, okay, we're just converting into werewolves, so it's good to know that, because then you're like, okay, this is not really me talking, it's our emotions like fluctuating, coming out. Okay, so this is stuff I want to talk about in the team buildings as well. How to manage our emotions. So we will be painting, but while we're painting, I'm gonna talk about cultural concept, of course, cultural symbolism. But there's also things I want to talk about, like relationships. What I was telling about the kids interrupting constantly. And this is, I'm addressing myself to the guys right now, or whatever. When you're parents, obviously your life changes. It's not like you have your life, you do whatever you want, and you're just gonna integrate your kids to it. Some people can do it, but most of the time, one of the parents has to stop working, okay, if you really want to be there for them. And some parents, they put their kids to daycare from 3 months old, and that works for them. Then most of the time, one of the parents has to stop working, they has to stop the career, or if one has a better paycheck, most of the time, this is the one that you're going to be following and stuff. And this has a value. Like, raising a child has a value. Okay, I have one of my friends, she's following around, she's following her ex around, because they want the kids to still see both of them. So he helps her, and because he values the time, the sacrifice, that she's putting for one of the careers, right? And so when I hear sometimes like, I pay for everything, like, I'm sorry, I don't want to mean to put my business here, but I can't imagine how many women are in this situation, and they don't talk about it, because like, I know, like, I don't talk about it because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna bother people with my stories again. But when you have this mindset of someone constantly be like, oh, I pay for everything, no, motherfucker, I'm raising your child, like this is more valuable than any job in the world. Like, okay, so you're equal, you're a couple, you make choices together, you're equal. It's not like one has more value than the other. Money is nothing. Yes, money pays the bills and you need that, okay? And it's one choice. One makes the choice and another one makes the choice, and whatever you agree on, both are valuable, you know? And so many women can't imagine that are stuck at home with an abusive husband that keeps them, you know, things like that I want to talk about. Also, not necessarily for the women, but for the guys, because sometimes when it's someone else who tells you, you know, there are families like this. There are people who don't really think further than their own aggressivity, emotion management and stuff like that. So yeah, and hearing other people's stories to kind of like helps you understand. You know, talking to my friend Julia yesterday, that, you know, having her point of view on some stories and stuff helps. So yeah, there is a lot. Like we can talk about politics, because all these, from your own household to the collective, you know, whatever your emotion is what's going to translate in your quality of your work and your company. And, you know, if you only have depressed people, this is one of the most thing that you learn when I was doing my master's degree in negotiation, or when I was with my very first job, at the Alliance Française. My boss was amazing. He was giving us responsibilities. You know, he was not bossing us around, you know, being the boss, I tell everybody what to do. No, that was the opposite. He empowers the others, you know. And so we wanted to give everything. We're like, oh my God, he trusts me, he gives me this responsibility, I'm gonna do everything, you know. And this is the thing, like, since I came to America, I was looking for a job. No, I was applying for publishers. No, I'm applying for this. No, I'm organizing workshop. No. And when it's no, 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 then you lose hope in the people. You don't want to give your all, you know. You're like, no, you won't, fuck this, you know. At least I'm like that. But I think most of the people, it's when you trust people, like I'm feeling tested and tested and tested. Okay, you don't trust me, well, I'm gonna show you right, you know, fuck everything. So, and most of the time I would like sabotage myself. All it takes is people who trust you. And yes, we trust you, we give you responsibility, we empower you, and then you want to do everything. You're like, oh my God, wow, they trust me, man, I'm gonna do everything, I'm gonna show them, you know. So this is how it works. And it's the same in your marriage. If you're constantly telling the other one, and I'm not accusing him, because I'm the same, like, we just and we agree, it's, I'm not talking behind his back, you can watch the video, we talk about it, like, we agree that we disagree on everything. We are not on the same page about anything, not the food, not the education, the video games, the nothing. So he's gonna do something, I'm gonna come, I'm gonna be like, but this is not how you do it. And then he would come, I have a project, oh my God, I have an idea, I'm gonna do some Airbnb, or I'm gonna do that, oh no, or oh, I'm gonna pay someone to help me for my crypto. No, you don't have the money to pay someone. But, you know, constantly like, no, this, no, 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 like, then you don't want to make the effort, you know. If you have someone who's like, oh my God, like we were at the beginning, you know, empowering him for his career, oh my God, you can do this, you know, like, and then he just kept on going up in his career, and I kept going better. And as soon as we started like constantly criticizing each other and like divide, then nothing worked for him, nothing worked for me. We just literally stopped growing, because you constantly have someone draining you down. And this is the time that you say goodbye. Okay, I love that there are marriage coach, and sometimes your marriage is so good that you want to try to fix it. You know, sometimes you're like, oh, I'm married to the love of my life, and you know, I don't see, it's not perfect, but I don't see my life without her or him, so let's fix it, you know. And then you should, but not always. Not always, you know. When it's not always that people have to be like, no, what, you're getting divorced? No, getting divorced is a good thing. Okay, it's not like the 16th century, or when you're married and you can never marry anybody else, or not even the 16th century, even in 1940s, in the 40s or 50s, when my grandma was divorced, that it was kind of like the shame, you know. It's not like this. If the marriage is not working, divorce. Okay, it's not the end of the world. Like, there are other people, right? We don't have to hold on like that to a marriage if you're just never happy and arguing in front of your kids, or you think you can have a life that is so much more fun and interesting. And so it really depends. But don't think that, for me, when I got married, you never get married thinking you're gonna get divorced. When you do your vows, usually it's forever, you know. So when I got married, and I really thought it was forever, so I was never looking for someone else. I was never, you know, is the only one, until the day I started asking myself, you know. I was like, oh, it's not, I'm not that happy anymore, you know. And I remember one day thinking, is this really, like, is that it? Is this really, that's it? Like, that's gonna be it? I remember telling myself that. I was like, it's gonna be it? Like, and this is when I started asking questions like that, you know, it started going bad. But why am I saying that? Wait. Yeah. So when it actually, and after that, it went bad really quickly. Like, it went bad to a point of really, like, hating each other. Like, we, and we don't, but we just, you know, when it's over. But what I mean by that is that for me, it was really a failure. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. I can't believe a marriage, we failed at our marriage. Like, when you do your vows, you think it's going to be forever. So it's a shock, right? Even if you know you're not completely fulfilled, or, you know, you're asking questions, or you argue every day or whatever, you still feel like a failure. You have this thing within you that's broken. You're like, wow, is this really happening? Like, I remember having this for a long time. Like, is this really happening? And the thing is, like, well, I wasn't gonna do a full session about that, but while I'm at it, like, maybe that helps someone. We were both on different phases. That happened for me first, because he was, I warned him many times. I told him, hey, look, I feel exactly what I'm telling you. I feel like this, and if we don't change our ways to be, or try to do more for each other, then I know for me it's gonna be over, like, really soon. And I was trying to speak it, and he was just escaping it and going out and doing his escaping it, like doing the exact opposite that I was asking him. And I was like, you know, at first I was angry, but, you know, the more, when I'm angry, it's good, because it means I feel something, you know. But after a while, I was just like, nah, I don't care. And this is when it's dangerous, when you just, like, don't care, because, you know, there's no turning back from that. And so for a year, it took me a year for me to have that process, going from anger to not caring anymore, from being sad, not from being angry, to being sad, to then not caring at all. And this is when it hit him that we were really getting a divorce, that he has this anger stage. So I was in this stage that I don't care, and he was at this stage of being angry, right? And so we were never so that was just hard, because, like, I was trying to get the divorce things, you know, peacefully, and he was just angry constantly. And then when I was just like, almost suicidal, like I can't stand the situation anymore. Then he was sad, so then I get back to him and trying to make him feel better. And this is actually the time when we could start a discussion and talking, right? So yeah, there's different stages. So all these is things that, like, there's really so many topics we can talk about. I've been through so much stuff, like and yeah, I was actually reading the book here from Elisabeth. Congratulations for your book, by the way. When you're talking about, I didn't read all of it. I just took a passage, right? Because I'm so busy, but I will by the pool when the sun comes back. It's nice in Florida. It's a little cold, but where was it? No. Oh yeah, you know what? Those brain maps blew my mind. They also showed me the brain can be stuck in a state that will cause you to act out. It will make you act in ways you would not do consciously. Or if the blood flow was normal and your brain was firing in the normal way it's supposed to, you wouldn't have all these crazy wants and you wouldn't be doing all these crazy things. For most of my life, I felt like it was frozen on the inside. And that resonated when I read that, because this is how you feel sometimes, like I was saying, when you feel like people don't give you the chance and you have no hope, nothing, like your personal life is not going, your professional life is not going, like, you know, you get frozen, paralyzed, you know. And sometimes I have this, and my community, actually, Elisabeth, and yeah, I ran out of space. Yeah, Elisabeth and Billy Carson and Resonance Science Foundation, Dean and Tony, like all my community, like Matthias, all my community, and these are the ones who brought me back, you know. And of course, not just online, my friends that actually call each other every day. This is when I actually stopped smoking naturally, you know, and I stopped. I never wanted to stop smoking, like literally since I've been smoking weed since I was 17, and I never wanted to stop smoking. I always said, I don't want to stop smoking. People would ask me, oh, you got to stop smoking. I'm like, why would I stop smoking? I feel better when I smoke. And I'm slim when I'm smoking. You see, I started smoking a few days ago. I'm losing a little bit of weight already, 3 days. And I don't smoke a lot, but naturally I stopped smoking, like, completely. It's like my body doesn't even like want it. Mostly, it's funny, mostly since I started painting the logos from the Rosa Pico. It's like, it's funny, it's like I paint them, the energy, it's like I receive the energy of it without even having to consume it, you know. It's, everything is becoming ether nowadays. Okay, so the healing is more subliminal, more and more. So this is good, because it means our intake of medicines is going to significantly change. But so now I'm trying to start smoking again, right? And drinking. I completely stopped drinking. The other day I was drinking apple juice. I was like, what is going on with me? Like, what's wrong? Like, I'm French, I drink wine every day. Come on now. So I'm trying to start drinking again and start smoking at least a little bit. So it's funny because, like, we all have a recipe for success, you know, the recipe for elevated consciousness. Actually, Elisabeth, in her book, she explains all how the remedies that she had to stop, okay, because she was in those communities, like habits and stuff, that sometimes you have to cut it off from one day to another. For me, that was the opposite. It's naturally, thanks to the help of my community, the support, and feeling less lost, naturally, that I stopped without even wanting it. Okay, so now I'm like, oh no. But yeah, so that can help, honestly, to read the stories. And yes, see, when serious traumatic things happen to me, my brain goes into completely freeze, shuts off, and I turn into a doll. I don't know where I go at that point. So it all shown up in my brain map. When I started training, my brain started becoming more balanced, and especially I got off the drugs and alcohol. Brain training, among other things, really brought me into balance, because I was not self-soothing anymore. I was not going into toxic environments to bring me out of balance. I was sticking to the sober life and also cutting out and creating more boundaries in my life. And for me, it's the painting and doing these videos. Actually, as I'm doing all these videos, it's like a therapy for me, and hopefully someone who sees it, like maybe you're gonna show the video to your husband and be like, oh, I see she's saying the same thing as well, like it's, you know. Respect my business, respect my career. And Daniel always has been supportive of my business, right? It's just after a while, when we got divorced and I actually had to make an income, that it became more problematic. But I told him, like, because you repeat it to me every day, that's blocking me. It's not even like I don't do less well or less work that I was doing before. I was actually working less before. I was actually going out every day with my son, painting a little bit every day, posting like 1 minute little hyperlapse of my videos and stuff, and people would buy my painting, and I made the oracle and everything. I was working less, and I had constantly things coming. It's since my divorce, and I worked my ass off because I was like stressed. Man, I need to make a living. Like, man, I need to do everything, and not just the stress. It's just so more passion. It became more and more. Then I had the masterminds. I was like, oh well, all this stuff that I know, I need to record it. Okay, I need to create more content. So it naturally evolved, right? But I work a lot more. But it's blocked because my mindset, I'm in this struggle, freezing my brain all the time. I can't emit the frequency that I want. So this is so important. Like if you're in a family, in a couple, and you have people who don't support you, either they accept to go talk to someone or talk together, but if the person is completely sterile to dialogue, it's time to say goodbye. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not pro marriage or pro divorce. Like, it's whatever recipe suits you, you know. So yeah, maybe not everybody will agree with that. But yeah, so what I was saying, yeah, if you want to help me, you can please recommend my products. If you have a gift to make for a birthday, please go to my website, pachamamart.org. You have everything. You want art, there is original art. If it's too much of a budget, there is prints, super high quality prints. You won't even see the difference almost. Like, of course, the original are better, right? But I have a beautiful print right here, actually. Like, you wouldn't even, no, this is the original. I was like, you wouldn't even tell it's a print. Yeah, it's an original. But the prints are beautiful. You can do canvas prints. I have a Redbubble store as well, where you can have mugs, tote bags, shirts, pillows, clocks. The clocks, people love the clocks with the mandalas, and these go from $4 to $200, right? So it's any price range. It's they deliver, I think, all around the world, at least in America. My oracle is $20. You can find it at US Game Systems website or on Amazon. Deliver all around the world. So, and then if you want to learn and access all of my workshops, they're all on mastermind.com, right? The Journey to Love, Metatrons Vibes, the Angel Pack. So see, there's a lot of content. So please, if you have a gift to make for a birthday or yourself, or decorate your house, think of me. You know, if everybody recommends and does something, it will help, you know, my business. And it's just not me that you're helping and my family, it's everything that I do. Also, it ripples, you know. I help a lot of people as well. It doesn't seem like it, but I do a lot for others. I cheer on all of my mentors, and you know, they needed to. I cheer on everybody that does amazing work, and you would be surprised, amazed at the comments. Like Matthias, oh my god, like I'm blown away every day. Like this, he's like an angel. He's like an angel. He shares everything for free. He shows, you know, he tells about all these concepts. His life is, he makes the time, the event in Egypt was freaking amazing. And you wouldn't believe the amount of critics and insults and stuff that he gets every day. I'm like, wow, like we need to be there for him, to support him. And it's the same for my mentors and Tony Robbins. Last time, you wouldn't think, because when you see their videos, you know, they have all their teams, they make it look like super easy and yeah, pumped up, but they go through some crap, like people ripping them off, like, you know, it's, so they need our support too. And also I donate, you know, every time I sell an original, I donate 30% to non-profit organizations. I do shenanigans when no one is watching to make sure everybody's okay. You know, so it's a whole organization. It's not just bringing money to my business. It's a lot more than I do, and that I hope that you see it and the passion, and that you can get involved also and help me. Okay, so that's about it. I'm gonna go back to doing the movie, but I was so excited. I wanted to make this little video and share it today. So have a good day, everybody. I love you guys, and I'll keep you updated this week. Bye bye. Oh yeah, and I forgot to say also, you know, there's a lot of stuff that I write like as a joke, like my bad jokes, like, and then I'm like, but you know what? That's not a bad idea. Like, when I posted all these pictures, you know, the other day, colorful pictures of me and backgrounds and stuff, and I was like, oh, I should do oracle cards. And then the next day, Elisabeth posted some cool pictures, and then another one of my friends posted pictures, and I was like, wow, we should do like a oracle cards with faces, our faces, you know, make a nice artistic oracle, and write a little sentence, you know, on the back of it, just to show community and stuff. So this is just an idea, and also to, yeah, to show friendship, you know. It's, I never told anybody because I don't want to be like pretentious or complaining again, but like when I got to Florida, like, the people who know me, you know, I'm not a homewrecker, you know, I'm not the bitch. You know, when I was acting like one, it's because people were treating me like one. I was like, oh, I'm a bitch, okay, I'm a bitch. Like, you know, I got to Florida, I was so kind to everybody and welcoming and stuff, and like, you know, some girls like started like, you know, literally warning other ladies, oh, be careful this chick, or like, oh, be careful. That many times people told me, yeah, she told me to be careful. But I was like, oh my god, first off, I don't like this gossip, and then I'm not like that. Why will you judge people like before you even know them? You know, I'm trying to make friends, and then I'm like excluded because people were jealous without even knowing me, and that hurt me a lot. Like, that hurt me a lot. Like, I stopped, you know, or I would go somewhere and literally I'm talking to the guy, and like the girlfriend is looking at him like this. I'm like, oh my god, like, okay, you know, well, I guess it's not just me, maybe you know, she was just like that. But it's like when it's repeatedly, and I'm like, if you really knew me, you know, I'm not like that. So don't judge people, you know, before you actually get to know them. And that was really painful for me, because, you know, when people don't give you a chance, it's always this thing of like trusting, you know, trusting. I'm not saying trust blindly, but before you make assumptions. And so after that, this is when I started going crazy. I wasn't that crazy, but Jacksonville made me a lot more crazy than I was. I was always a little bit crazy, but this is when I was like, oh, okay, I'm a bitch. Okay, I'm a bitch. All right, I'm gonna be a bitch. Like, and then that just kept going, you know. But sometimes the things I show are, you know, it's funny because that first, I don't know if you remember, if you've been following me for a long time, these very first pictures I posted, it was like a picture of me in my swimming suit, like, I posted this on my Instagram in kind of like a sexy pose. Like, I would never post this kind of pictures of me on my Instagram before. But it was like I was posting all this spiritual content and putting all my stuff in my art, and like nobody would give a shit. Nobody would care at all. And then they were following these chicks, like making naked pictures or like sexy pictures, and I was like, oh, this is what you gotta do. Like, oh, okay, you gotta show some skin, right? So then this is that day I remember I posted that picture and I wrote like this entire giant spiritual thing, and at the end I wrote, well, by the way, I'm adding some hot pictures because who cares about spiritual lectures? And this is when actually people start getting interested into my stuff. You gotta have stuff for everybody, I guess. But then at first I was thinking it negatively, but then I was like, that day when I was at the beach in Palm Beach, and I was by myself at the beach. There was nobody, like nobody around the entire beach except like a mom and her two kids, but far, far. So I'm there bathing topless, and I'm face down. I'm topless, like face down, sleeping in the sand. Next thing you know, she's like right over my face. She's like, excuse me? Yes, hi. She's like, yeah, you need to get dressed immediately. This is not a nude beach, okay? I'm gonna call the police. I'm like, excuse me, where do you come from? Like, there's nobody around. Are you that lady from the other side of the beach over there? Why are you even looking? And she's like, wait, I have kids here. Blah, this is not nude beach. And I was like, wow, like how Puritans. Like, you guys have naked pictures on the clip on TV all the time in Hollywood and stuff, but if it's like on the beach where it's actually the most natural, then it's not right. So then I was like, well, this is why then I started posting more pictures, because I was like, yeah, people need to stop their judgment, like, and that made me understand as well. I was like, okay, well, I'm not judging the ladies who do it. No, that's not what I say. I'm not judging, because art is beautiful. The body is beautiful. When I see a beautiful pictures of a girl and sexy pictures and stuff, it's honoring the divine feminine, right? So I'm not criticizing at all. I'm just saying that I was like, okay, all the attention goes to that, but when you're working your butt off and trying to put spiritual concept and stuff, like, people don't care. This is why I was like, okay, there's need to be a balance here, and most of the time, like, the girls who post this, they're actually very smart ladies who actually do that, and sometimes it also tells a story. You can tell through the dance, the modeling and stuff. You actually telling stories, okay, not going besides the just like lurking on some skin. So it's art, and art is to convey a message. So I'm glad that as a community, we can all like raise that consciousness, with all of our assets, right, and our weaknesses, but lift each other up to bring more consciousness. And once again, sometimes I'm like, sorry, it's a little long and repetitive, but when I see comments, Matthias, like, some days I'm like, oh, you know what, you guys got it, like, you guys are really good at this, like, you don't need me, you're doing this really well, like, why would I even like put so much time in something that doesn't bring me anything, any money, I don't ask. At first I was like, I don't ask for money, I don't ask for recognition, I don't even ask for a thank you, like, but when it's just like one thing after another that I wanted to give up. I was like, that's it. I'm not even like, people don't even buy my paintings. And I was like, I do it because I love it. But then when I see the result, that I was in debt with no business, I just wanted to give up. Why am I doing it? So I'm like, you guys do it so much better and you're successful. You guys do it. I'm just going to play with my son, just find what I want, a job that I don't have to think. I want a job that I go do my hours. I don't have to think. I can sell something, a chocolate or I don't know, whatever, clothing store, but and just collect a paycheck. And then I go and I see Matthias and I see some comments that are like, oh, you're such a satanic, you're ruining this world. And then I'm like, oh, that still exists. Like, I didn't realize, like, I thought because I surround myself with this mind conscious community, I think everybody's like this. So I'm like, there's not that much work to be done. And then I see these kind of comments, and I go see some of the profiles, and I'm like, or that day, I've told about this before, when I was in a cafe one day, and when I just got to America, it was 8 years ago, Obama was president, and he was on TV, and there was this guy drinking his coffee, and he was like, ah, this Obama, like, like, I'm like, what? Like he wanted to let it out. I was like, what? He's like, well, I want to see his birth certificate. This guy is a Muslim. Yeah, I want to see his. And I'm like, okay, well, even if he was, so what? It's like, well, they are freaking terrorists or whatever. I mean, this was the mindset, like, and I was like, oh, wow, this still exists. Wow, there's still people like that. Okay, well, I think we all need it. Like, we all we are all needed every time. Maybe if like one person sees it, maybe one guy is terrifying, his wife and kids, and needs to see this. Maybe this guy thinks like his religion is the only one in the world. Even you go to Egypt or Muslim countries, they're not like that. This is in the mind of the people that have never been there. Mostly Americans, French people travel a lot, but in French you have the two. You have the ones that travel a lot and speak languages, and you have a whole bunch of half of the country who doesn't speak English, who doesn't travel, and they're kind of like, I don't like to make generalities, but in America, what I notice, some people who don't travel very much, and they refer to what they see on TV only. This is how they make their mindset. So for them, a Muslim is a terrorist because the 9/11, and since this is what was wanted, okay, so we have fear of each other. So the less connected we are, the more division, and then we have excuse for the war. And this weapon business and economy, like Kyle was telling me yesterday, we were talking, and he was saying all these wars and stuff going on, this is to make the economy crash, because then the economy is going to crash. And then what's going to work now? They're going to put everything into crypto. This is why I'm telling you guys, put your stuff into crypto right now. I'm doing it not because I'm crazy, because I feel it. It's like Bitcoin a few years ago. Like, it was risky to get Bitcoin, and they bought a few Bitcoins, and now they're millionaires. This is what's going to happen now with these conflicts, this economic. They're going to put everything into the crypto. Billy Carson is doing crypto. Robert Grant is doing the crypto. Like, all the geniuses, they're putting everything into the crypto. We're telling you. And so yeah, Kyle, he was explaining me that yesterday. So yeah, crypto, journey to crypto, mastermind.com. By the way, you can subscribe to that as well. Yeah, I keep forgetting because I keep having an idea, and then I circle to something else, and then I circle back. So I always do that. Like, that's my timeline. My timeline. I'm like, ooh. So yeah, so this is what you see on TV. When you go to Egypt or Bahrain, I've lived in Bahrain for 1.5 years. People are not like that. People are super open-minded and respectful of other religions. In Egypt, I was talking to a taxi driver, so no judgment or anything, but usually it's not like the highest level of like politics or diplomatic, right? If you're a taxi driver, no judgment once again, because the guy was actually a student, an accountant, okay? So, but even talking to the taxi driver, and he was like, I'm passionate about learning about other people's religions and why, they don't think like me and my religion. He was actually studying in the university, the Muslim University of Cairo, right? So supposedly he is completely a Muslim in his religion. So I was asking him questions. How do you mix your religion with Egypt's ancient culture, which is completely different? Okay, the legacy that you guys teach in the tours and the many gods, you know, the omnism and all this culture. And so do you believe in both? And so he was like, well, this is how he told me. This is super interesting, actually. He was like, well, this is how it was before they discovered that there was only one God. So this was their stories. They were discovering the nature, the spirit of the animals, the god, the lion god, goddess, Sekhmet, or I don't know, the crocodile, like Sobek, the crocodile head, or Horus, the bird head god, all of that through the spirits of the animals and nature, like Pachamama. He wasn't saying all this, I'm making a mix, right, of the ideas. Like Pachamama, she's in the mountains, she's in the river, she's the elements. The Egyptians, they were basing with the spirit of the animals, which means you take the quality of the animal. The lion is the king of the animal realm. He's the stronger. Therefore, he's the king or queen of strength, of war. All right? This is what spirit animals are. You take the property of the animal and you apply them to your personality. Or what you need, or energetically and stuff like that. But then through history, then they discovered the real God, and so that's how they started writing the books and stuff. So I was like, oh, okay, that's how it was advanced in the timeline of history, right? That then they discovered the real one. But he was really open-minded to that we all have different religion. And he was telling me, he was like, I believe we all believe in God. We all believe in a higher power, right? What put us here? We all, if you don't ask yourself these questions once in your life, congratulations. Like, I want your life, like, you know. But yes, like when I was 12 years old, I went to Tunisia and I was talking to my Aida, one of my best friend's cousins, boys, and you know, they were like, I remember they were like, my God is the best, my God is the only one, no, my God is the best, the only one, you know. So I kept that idea, that image, right, that they're like, oh no, they're really close-minded, like this is their only one, you know. And this is kind of what TV, the media want to think. But when you actually go to the country and talk to people, they're open-minded, they understand, okay, the evolution of cultures. And I'm sorry, this is exactly the same thing that the Catholics did in South America, all right, or the pilgrims when they came here to America. They came, they put their church on top of the temples, on top of the sacred places, took the lands of the natives, wherever it was, just to say, okay, now this is the truth, right? But more and more now that we see how all this is linked, industrializations, all of that came to kind of replace the natural realm, because our obsession was, how do we control nature? Okay, we don't have it's cold in the winter. How do you control nature to build a warm home? Like as I always say in almost all of my workshops, the survival mode, right? But now we are in an era where supposedly, it's still not the case, but supposedly we're at the end of the wars. We're at the end of the survival mode. We have enough technology, resources for everybody. You know, supposedly the ones who have a lot share, you know, the countries who have a lot can share with the countries who don't have a lot, so it balances out a little bit. We're still not there yet, but I don't still understand how you can watch, you know, people struggle and just watch there. You know, I was seeing this experiment about the rats, and they were like, oh, there was this study that says that, you know, a rat dumped into water can swim for 15 minutes and then he lets himself drown. And at this moment, the scientists let the water out to save the rat, let the rat recover, then they put him back in water again. It's horrible, right? They put him back in water again, and this time the rat is going to swim for 60 hours because the rat in his mind knows that, you know, someone is coming to save them. So they dig into their inner resources and strength, because they have hope, because they have faith, you know. And he was like, so you see, now you can, now that we know how much resources we actually have that we're not aware of, you know, we can save ourselves. I was like, oh yeah. My conclusion of the story is there are still like people watching rats dying and taking notes, right? Instead of actually saving them and telling them that they should save themselves. But this is just, you know, my personal opinion, but this is why we're also lucky to have the Navy and to have a military, because as long as there is war, we're happy when they actually come and help, right? So I don't know exactly what the status is in between the European or US countries going to help out Ukraine, but I was watching a video this morning on bombing houses and homes, this lady playing in her piano, everything else is completely bombed in the house, and I'm like, wow, is this even real? Like, how is this even real? Why do we keep building weapons? Why do we build weapons? This is so stupid. I mean, yes, so there is still a lot to do, yeah, but we're gonna make it. All right, everybody. Yes, save yourself, of course, help others if you can, but it's good, we're finding new resources, you know. Sometimes I'm like, oh, if I, you know, every time of my life when I was in a transition, I'm like, have you ever like really enjoyed your life? Like, when is the times in your life that you're really enjoying the moment? Because for me, it's not many times. In every moment of my life where I was in a transition, you know, when I think like, okay, I'm safe, I have my, everything is great. I think it's our human condition to always want to improve ourselves, right? But most of the times when I was in transitions and stuff, and I was always wondering, I remember I was in Virginia. I was in Virginia after I left my job in Peru. I came to Virginia for my husband, and I was like, what am I gonna do now? I'm here, I don't have a visa, I left my job that I loved for love. I was excited at the time. I was like, love is more important than anything else. I didn't care. I was like, love is more important than anything else. So if I follow my heart, everything will go right. I will find another job. In the end, I did not, never did. Like, yes, after I went to work in Bahrain, this was an amazing job as well. But I was like, what am I gonna do next? Like, so, and I was there in this amazing place. I was with my cat and my dog, and we had this big field, land, and a lake. And I was like, man, I just want to enjoy my day, chill with my cat and my dog. And I was just worried. I was just like, man, asking myself all these questions. What am I gonna do next? You know, after. And I was like, why? And now when I think back of that, I was like, man, this moment when I had my cat, I had my dog, I should have enjoyed instead of asking myself questions like that all the time. Because now, in the end, it all worked out. I went back to France to finish my master's degree. Then I found an amazing job in Bahrain. And so now I'm in this situation again, when I'm in this transition and I can barely enjoy anything. You know, I'm lucky, I have a nice house, I have an amazing community, I have my son, we're healthy, I have everything to be happy, but because I have this fear of lacking, of not being able, because for so long I've had no, closed doors, tests, stuff, I'm so freaking out of it. I can't just enjoy anything. I'm constantly worried, you know, or I have to do more. If I'm outside playing with my son, I'm like, I should be working. I should be trying to make something, you know, marketing, like work more. Like I can't be lazy like that. No, I'm not lazy. I'm taking care of my son, you know, and I used to go out with my son every day. All I do is work all the time, every day at night. And I'm like, but enjoy this time, because it's not always going to be like this. And maybe I didn't find a job because I needed to get into the painting. And maybe my painting wasn't going so well this year because I had to find another solution that's eventually gonna bring me a passive income. I had to get into crypto. Okay, and maybe now I'm invested a few thousands of dollars into crypto, and a year from now I'm gonna be a millionaire because the crypto is gonna go up, which I believe. You know, I don't know, but I believe in that we are being guided one step after another. If I wake up in the morning with an idea, oh, I'm gonna do this, it's because it's one step closer to our destiny, right? So we have to trust, and it's an exercise every day to, and this is also why I record this. See, I feel good now. I feel confident. I always find resources when 2 months ago I was about to lose everything. I was about to lose my house. My credit card was maxed out. Like literally my credit card, $25,000 maxed, completely maxed. Like I went to the store to buy food and I couldn't buy food. And I was like, that's it. I'm losing everything. And this is the day I received the check from we refinanced. We found a refinancing for our home, and we had a little bit of extra cash from the refinancing, just enough that I could pay a big portion of my credit card, which I still have, but I still can buy food, right? And so I was like, see, everything comes. Like, I'm always nervous, but when I was like at this last minute edge, I realized that the check was already here. I didn't see it. I already had the check. And so yeah, this is the mindset I constantly try to program myself, otherwise I'm in panic. Like my my friend Helga, she's not like that. Like she's like, oh my god, like you stress me out just to tell me, like just to tell me your credit card, just to tell me like you put your money into the cryptos, like you stress me out, like I don't know, you know. And Daniel, he's the same. He's like, man, you stress me out. Like I'm like, guys, please, I'm not stressed. Please don't bring me this. Like it's already do a lot of work every day for me to trust, right? If I don't know who trusts me or who doesn't, but at least one person needs to trust me. It's myself, you know. So that's all I have is my faith. So please don't take this from me. It's like, yes, I'm freaking dead. Yes, I'm putting it into crypto. Yes, I'm crazy, but I'm not stressed. So don't you bring it, you know? Because I've learned that every transition, eventually, everything is going to be all right, like Bob Marley said. So I trust Bob. Okay? Trust Bob. Okay, guys. Have a great day. I love you. See you later. Bye.